So we'll backtrack a few minutes here this morning. And I'll ask you this. How crazy is the scene in our gospel reading? Peter, James, and John have once again been called by Jesus to follow him, but they're not casting down their nets. This time they're making their way up the mountain. We don't get a sense in this text of how these guys are feeling as they walk along, but within just a few verses, we do get a sense of their fear and wonder at what's happening in front of them. It's a holy moment, and it's not totally unlike one that we've encountered already. The words said at Jesus' baptism on the banks of the Jordan River are echoed in our gospel reading. This is my Son, the beloved. With him I am well pleased. The voice has come in a cloud again to declare who Jesus is. He is the beloved Son, God in human form, sent to be the Savior. And we are told, listen to him. This day and this moment reveal much about who Jesus is. And yet we know that there's a road ahead that for them was veiled with some uncertainty. This morning we are at the end of the time after Epiphany. God has shown up in this powerful way, and we too can stand in awe and wonder with the disciples. But as I said, this is just for a moment. For as we stand on this holy mountain, we also look ahead. We prepare to move up another mountain in Jesus, Golgotha, where God's glory will be made manifest in a different way, in weakness, darkness, brokenness, and death. Transfiguration Sunday is kind of strange if you think about it. Reading about Jesus glowing in light may make us wonder what kind of Messiah we are called to follow. Is God in Jesus Christ the powerful, mighty Savior that we fall down on our knees in front of? And isn't this the God that we want? One who is bigger and mightier than anything we could ever imagine or hope for? Or is God in Jesus Christ the one who will go back down the mountain, back to the difficulties of our daily lives with us? Or still yet, is this Jesus the one who is to be crucified for the sake of the world? I would say that he is all of these. Indeed, Jesus is all in all. As he shines in majesty before the disciples, we get sort of a mountaintop experience too. We read about and see the greatness of God. And it may bring us joy within our wonder to know that God the Father declares Jesus to be the beloved Son, that he is indeed to be worshipped and glorified. On this mountain, Jesus is strong and he is mighty. Yet as he walks back down the mountain, Peter, James, and John, this changed, this transfigured Jesus, we know, is going to be revealed in that different way. Jesus goes back to the crowds, to people crying out for healing. And soon, in about 6 weeks or so, we will celebrate his triumphal entry into Jerusalem as he makes his final steps to the cross. The God of splendor and glory will be broken, beaten, and crucified. And we will bow before that same cross, where Jesus meets us in our pains, experiences of death and suffering. Think for a moment about times when you have stood in wonder of God's glory. Perhaps it was in a mountaintop experience of your own, in a moment when God's presence and power were clear and undeniable. Perhaps in a time of worship. God in Jesus Christ is indeed present in those powerful and joyous times. And in those moments, we are too transfigured. We are changed and made new by the power of God through the Holy Spirit. In those times, our faith may be strong. It may be solid and seem almost unbreakable. But what about in the dark times? What have those moments been like for you? When you've suffered, been broken by life or circumstances, or grieved deeply. Or at any time when the world around us may make you wonder if the God we profess faith in has left you or someone you love hanging? Is the shining, splendorous Christ there? Yes. But he might look kind of different. His clothes may not be shining bright and white, yet he is with us and with all people, whenever or wherever we face our own fears of loneliness, inadequacy, or death. Jesus knows our pain and suffering. He became like us, and he knew the joys and trials of life. And we know he experienced death. It's in those dark moments that Jesus reaches out to us from the cross to take on our pain, our sin, and our hurt so that we may be made whole and complete. It is at this same cross where we lay all of that before him, all of our joys, our pains, and our sorrows. Both of these images of who Jesus is, the shining light and powerful, and the broken and dying, are very striking. And in them both, we find hope. From glory to death, from the mountain of the Transfiguration to the mountain of the crucifixion, we find hope. It is a hope that we are called time and time again to listen to. When the voice of God said on that mountain to listen to Jesus, this just didn't mean that we are to hear what Jesus says, think about it for a minute, and then forget about it until we have crisis. No, it's a call to listen as Jesus reveals himself in all times and places. It's a call to listen to the promise of life that has been revealed in him. This hope and this promise, they aren't just to last for one moment. They go from mountain to mountain and come to their fullness when we celebrate the resurrection. As we trudge off into Lent, and they say it that way because I know that's how it feels like for some of us, I invite you to reflect on the journey Jesus makes to the cross. Reflect on where you have seen the bright, shining, and glorious Jesus, as well as the crucified Lord who meets us in the darkest of places of our lives. What words of hope do you need to hear from our Lord at this time of the Transfiguration, on through Lent, Holy Week, and on to Easter? The Transfiguration isn't solely about Jesus being revealed in glory as God's beloved Son and our Savior, for it changes us too. In the invitation to look ahead to Lent, we find that we are in need of the transfigured, crucified, and risen Savior. And we cling to the promise of new life that we hear from our Lord proclaimed in all kinds of ways, every day of our lives and every week here in worship. We cling to the God who shines brightly before us for a moment, and who will soon suffer and die and rise again in glory for us. All of that changes us. In it, God works in us and transforms us into people who can share God's promises of life and salvation with our world. Amen.